Hi everybody, it's Nicky Chanel here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. We have made it. We have made it to 2024. We have passed the 2023 mark and it is January 1st of 2024. We have survived another year on this rock hurtling through space. Now, 2023 was an amazing year and I would love to do a recap video all about some of the amazing moments that I've had in 2023 and kind of what I've learned, because from the beginning of last year to today, totally different life than I lived. Absolutely amazing. I would go as far as to say 2023 was the greatest year of my entire life. Now, that being said, I have done a 6-month mark that I did back in July around my birthday. And so go hit that one some love. And I'm going to be talking about a lot of the topics that I mentioned in that video in this one. So just remember that moving forward. Now, let's get into this video. Now, without further ado, please like and subscribe, put those comments in the comments section, hit that bell button, and let's go from there, loves. So let's get into this. Now, I would first like to do a recap of where I was at the beginning of 2023. So at the beginning of 2023, I was living at home. I was working my job. I had an Instagram, but I had never really done anything on it. And I had my side gig, but I've never done anything, and YouTube was a far off dream. And essentially what I was at that point was I was killing myself in my job trying to move up. My goal was to move up. I'm ambitious. I want to move forward. I try to do all these things. That's why I have so many socials. If any of you follow me on every single one of my socials, like, I'm ambitious. I want a Porsche Panamera. I want a good life. I want to have a beautiful husband. I want to have a beautiful car. I want to have a beautiful life. And I thought at that time that if I worked really hard at my job and killed myself at my job and just tried to, give them my life essentially, I could move up, get to those manager positions, and start getting to the point where I could actually make enough money to move out. And we had this new store director at the time. I'm not gonna say names or anything like that. And he was ambitious, he was young, he was only like 2 years older than me. And he was making, I think his pay is like $130,000 a year. I was like, okay, that I can live with, that I can live on, that I can pay off all my bills, I can get everything figured out. And I started to develop a relationship with him where he saw me working really hard and he saw me just pushing, hitting goals. And he wanted to have a conversation with me about potentially moving up. I told him I want to do it past the holiday season. And we finally had the conversation on January 3rd of 2023. Now, I was in that office for about an hour and a half, and within about 20 minutes of it, I realized this guy was full of shit. That this guy did not care about me, that I was a corporate peon. I was literally nothing to his eyes. He was ambitious, he was proud of himself, and it showed in this conversation. He talked about really vague, like, corporate topics, like, oh, Kroger's all about this, and there's all about these things, there's all about this and our values and all that. And I'm like, yeah, I get all that, but like, I'm here to ask you what my path is. And he never told me the path. And finally, after about an hour and a half, I told him, like, hey, like, what is the next position for me? And he's like, oh, the fourth in charge of the department that I'm in. Okay, cool. So I finally had an answer after an hour and a half. And later that day, I went and looked up the pay for the position. It was a grand total of a $1 pay raise. And I would have to work that position for 1 to 2 years to be able to move up to the next position. And that position above was only another $1 pay raise. And I lost it. I essentially lost it. Like, I had been killing myself at this job for 2.5 years by this point. I had a degree, I had work ethic, I had everything that they wanted, but they didn't care. They could care less about me. And it was at that moment that I had a mental breakdown. I had a complete mental breakdown. And I punched a shopping cart, like my middle finger here was almost black because it was so bruised. I went home and basically cried in my mom's arms for like an hour and a half because I was just so distraught. And it's because of that store director and it's because of that guy that I'm here making this YouTube video, because I would say that is probably one of the greatest conversations I've ever had in my life, because it showed me that if you want to build your future, you have to do it yourself. Now, I had to go back to work the next day and I had finally calmed down enough. My mom had kind of told me, no, you're valuable, you're valued, go from there. And so my mom helped me a lot that day. But the next day I was sullied. I was mad. Like I saw that guy and I just wanted to punch him. Because like, I didn't want to work there anymore, but I was too invested in my chest surgery, which is on February 5th, to just outright quit and leave. Like this has been a year of planning this thing, and Kroger is gonna pay for it. Their insurance covers it, as I mentioned in these YouTube videos right here. And I was too invested to just outright quit in that job. And what happened was I had been looking into starting that Spicy Link full time. I'm not gonna mention that Spicy Link. I just call it the Spicy Link. If you wanna go look at it, it's up in the link tree. And I had been thinking about doing it for a long time, but I was living at home. Finally, that conversation with that guy broke me to the point where I was like, you know what, let's try it out. Let's just do it. Let's see what happens. Basically, in the first month, I made almost what my media boss made, like what my manager made. And I was like, okay, like February I made $1,200. Okay, did not expect this. The next month was even better. The next month was even better. And I was like, whoa, I did not expect this at all. I went out and did some good purchases. I bought a laptop so I could video edit. And that's the whole reason I bought the laptop that I did. It's the Lenovo IdeaPad 15. And I started doing things that were for me. Like I stopped working overtime because overtime was killing my feet. My feet were just raw with calluses. And started getting regular pedicures, got regular manicures, went and did a couple of more beauty appointments, started looking into electrolysis just to kind of finish up the transition. And basically my Instagram exploded. It went from 2,283 followers to 30,000 in 5 months. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't expect that. I did not expect any of this stuff. I was like, this is insane. And it's slowed down a little bit since then, but it still does well and all that stuff. And I moved out 3 months later. Like what would have taken me 6+ years in my job to be able to move out by myself without just completely destroying my savings account to move out, I did in 3 months. Like I was like, oh my God, like this is amazing. And then I started scheduling my chest surgery, and that has been a year-long process, and it's finally happening on February 5th. And my life completely changed within that matter of a couple months. Like now my days off, instead of sitting down playing video games all day, I do YouTube videos, I do Instagram modeling, I do Twitter, I do like all of this stuff in an attempt to be able to build my life. I go to the gym in the morning. Like my boss was like, oh, do you still want to move up? And I was like, hell no. And like my ultimate goal is to just go fully part-time and do social media as my lifetime goal. But like, oh my God, like this year has been amazing. Like it's been wonderful. I've got to know some amazing girls on here. I've made friendships. I've made relationships with people. Like I love doing what I do now because it's for me. I have this beautiful, fully furnished apartment that I just love. And it's amazing. My life is amazing. I'm also on a better relationship with my parents because I'm not living right next to them. And it just, that conversation that I had with that guy, it broke me for 2 days, but it taught me what my worth was. Okay, now, I hope you all understand that 2023 was an amazing year. I would call it the greatest year of my life because I got free from my parents. I got free from my job. I have a fully furnished apartment. Like there was a lot of things that I did last year that kind of just made life easier now at this point. And now 2024 is about smashing goals. Like I smashed a lot of goals in 2023. I hope to double that amount with 2024. Goal number 1, get through my surgery. Like I want to get this over with. I just want it done and I want to move on. Number 4 is to start growing my socials. Like I want my Instagram to maybe be at 100,000 by the end of this year. I think that'd be awesome. And I want to hit 10,000 on YouTube as well as monetization on YouTube. That is awesome. I'm only 900 watch hours away from the first level of monetization. So I'm super excited about that. And then the other one, and this is a good time to talk about this, is I've been getting a lot of transphobic hate on my YouTube videos, all related to transgender topics. And so like I would like to continue doing these videos, but I kind of exhausted a lot of the topics that I wanted to talk about. And I really don't want to have that level of hate on my YouTube channel. And so I'm going to move away from transgender topics. It's still a big portion of my life, obviously. I've been doing this for 4 years at this stage. But I want us to move away and talk more about like video game topics. I play a lot of Cyberpunk 2077. I want to kind of relate this to my Twitch channel that I'm going to be starting up here in about 3 days. And I also just want to talk some history topics. Like I can basically tell you everything about World War II and World War I. And I really want to talk more about that in the future as part of like my Glam Historian podcast series. And so 2024 is going to be an amazing year. I want to get my car paid off. I want to have an even better relationship with my parents, and maybe even start looking into saving up for a house in 2025 at the earliest. And so this year has been amazing. I'm going to be here the whole time doing YouTube, doing Instagram, doing all my normal stuff, and I'm excited. I love my life now. That's just the only thing I can say, and 2024 is going to be amazing. Okay, dolls, thank you for sitting through that quick little YouTube video. This has been really awesome. It's like to doing a reflection about 2023. I love my life, and I owe a large part of that to all of you. So I just want you to know that I love all of you. Thank you so much for this amazing life that I live nowadays. I love it. Like, I'm doing my dream stuff. I'm doing things that I never would have thought possible in the past, and I do them every single day now. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Put those comments in the comments section. I will be here for more, and I'm excited to see what 2024 holds to me. This has been Nikki Chanel. Love you all. I feel like Squidward from SpongeBob right now, because there's literally a leaf blower outside. I'm trying to finish filming this little YouTube video, and they're blowing leaves. It's the dead of winter. All the leaves are dead.